Are we in for a sustained trade war with China?
Well, you're in one now. Look, we have 100% tariff. If we didn't have tariffs, we would be exposed as being a nothing. We would have no defense. You know, they've used tariffs on us, but we've never had anybody sitting in that chair that felt the need to do it. And
others by digital currency, by digital Chinese currency. Why? Because frankly, our central bank has been slow, and there's an appointment coming in January of 22. The president's got to decide whether to change over who's leading the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve runs our payment system. And I think we need to move that Federal Reserve into the modern era.
What about in 5 minutes if we hear that the world is trading oil in this digital yuan? What does that do to our economy?
You talked about how you hope to end the war in Ukraine because it might help you get into heaven. How does this help? Does this help?
I mean, you know, I'm being a little cute. I don't think there's anything going to get me in heaven. Okay, I really don't. I think I'm not maybe heaven bound. I may be in heaven right now as we fly in Air Force One. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make heaven.
Tom Lee has emerged as probably the most visible, influential spokesperson in the entire Ethereum ecosystem in a matter of months, maybe a matter of weeks. What does that represent? Well, first of all, they have $10 billion of capital. Second of all, Tom Lee is part of the Wall Street establishment. He was never part of the crypto establishment. You saw Wall Street merges with the crypto economy, capital flows because it trusts Tom Lee.
You have an old grid, you wouldn't be able to do that. And we're dominating China, we're dominating with AI, which seems to be the new big thing. That's the new internet, that's the new whatever. And he's assured me there will be no oil purchased from Russia. I don't know, maybe that's a breaking story. Can I say that? Would you say? There will be no oil. He's not buying his oil from Russia. It started. You know, you can't do it immediately. It's a little bit of a process. But the process is going to be over with soon. And all we want from President Putin is stop this. Stop killing Ukrainians and stop killing Russians, because he's killing a lot of Russians. Again, it doesn't make him look good. It's a war that he should have won in 1 week, and he's now going into his 4th year. That does not make this big so-called war machine look good.
Why did you authorize the CIA to go into Venezuela? And is there more information you can share about these strikes on the alleged...
Well, I can't do that, but I authorized for 2 reasons, really. Number one, they have emptied their prisons into the United States of America. They came in through the... they came in through the border. They came in because we had an open border policy. And as soon as I heard that, I said a lot of these countries, they're not the only country, but they're the worst abuser. And they've entered they've allowed thousands and thousands of prisoners, mental institution, people from mental institutions, insane asylums, emptied out into the United States. We're bringing them back. But that's a really bad, and they did it at a level that probably not, many countries have done it, but not like Venezuela. They were down and dirty. And the other thing are drugs. We have a lot of drugs coming in from Venezuela.
Thank you all for being here at Treasury today in the midst of this shutdown. We call on the moderate Democrats in the Senate to be heroes. Be heroes. Break away from the hive of radicalism and do something for the American people, because we are starting to cut into muscle here. We believe that the shutdown may start costing the U.S. economy up to $15 billion a day, and this is a decision the Democrats are making. And one of the reasons that they are not being held to task is because the mainstream media is not coming at them the way they would have if the Republicans were willing to keep the government closed. It is a very simple decision. Mike Johnson passed a clean CR. Leader Thune has the clean CR. 3 Democrats have voted for it. And right here, right now, I am calling for the moderate Democrats to be heroes. Be heroes and reopen the government for the American people.
Welcome to the Cryptoteacher.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And you know I come back with that video just to make you think. And make sure you're joining the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. Also, go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And we have Trump finally admitting it. We are in a trade war with China. And guys, we know it's the rise of the BRICS nations with the emerging markets and the fall of America to Babylon with that world reserve currency. And you know the crypto teacher wrote about it a long time ago and told you a long time ago. And we know the crypto teacher gives you the truth, nothing but the truth. Yes, the truth hurts, but it sets you free. But because I'm giving you the truth, you hate me. But remember, I'm just a watchman on the wall. And then we have Michael Saylor, the spokesperson of Bitcoin, talks about Tom Lee. And we know Tom Lee now is a spokesperson for Ethereum. The crazy part about it is they have nothing to do with either one of the projects. Yes, guys, you can make this stuff up. Don't forget what Michael Saylor said about Bitcoin a long time ago. It wouldn't make it. But then he wrote a letter about the C word, and he had to change his tune. I did a video on that back in 2020. Michael Saylor became a puppet for the banks. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And we have Trump saying AI is the new internet. And yes, he is exactly right, along with blockchain and these digital assets. Web3 is right around the corner. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And then we have Trump says Modi says that he will not buy oil from Russia. And of course, we're going to have to get our popcorn, sit back, and let it play out. Because the only other options they have, of course, is the Middle East and Africa. But I do not see them not buying oil from Russia. Why? Because we know all about the BRICS. But again, we'll sit back and let it play out. And then we have Trump let CIA inside Venezuela. And he talks about the immigrants from Venezuela inside the United States from the border. But guys, we know these immigrants were strategically placed, so therefore they can speed up this fourth industrial revolution. And of course, a big piece of that are these smart cities. There's so much going on and so many distractions, guys. Do not forget the goal. And that's the fourth industrial revolution. Now we have Scott Bessent on the shutdown. Says it may cost up to $15 billion a day if the government continues to be shut down. And we know we're tapping into that surplus. And then when we go back and we really need it, we know it's not going to be there. And we know for a fact in 2027, there's going to be a whole lot of Hegelian dialectic being played. Because, of course, next year we have midterms. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And we had Jerome Powell in the house yesterday, letting us know liquidity is starting to tighten. Along with it, guys, we have the jobs market weakening. We have more inflation. And then Scott Bessent let us know in the second quarter, they're ready to flip this switch on the fourth industrial revolution. That's all we needed as a time slot, a time period. Don't forget. And because they're going to be flipping the switch on the fourth industrial revolution, we know these distractions are about to be stepped up, and those drums are going to get louder and louder. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And we have Summers on the Argentinian bailout. Says it was unconventional. Other countries should have came in. But guys, of course, he's not going to give you the whole truth. The only reason why the United States stepped in because Argentina was selling off dollars. We stepped in to save ourselves. It had nothing to do with saving Argentina. The United States was trying to save itself. And never forget, Scott Bessent is a George Soros protege. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Long-stated plan is to stop balance sheet runoff when reserves are somewhat above the level we judge consistent with ample reserves conditions. We may approach that point in coming months, and we are closely monitoring a wide range of indicators to inform this decision. Some signs have begun to emerge that liquidity conditions are gradually tightening, including a general firming of repo rates, along with more noticeable but temporary pressures on selected dates. The committee's plans lay out a deliberately cautious approach to avoid the kind of money market strains experienced in September 2019. Moreover, the tools of our implementation framework, including the standing repo facility and the discount window, will help contain funding pressures and keep the federal funds rate within our target range through this transition to lower reserve levels. Normalizing the size of our balance sheet does not mean going back to the balance sheet we had before the pandemic. In the longer run, the size of our balance sheet is determined by the public's demand for our liabilities rather than by our pandemic-related asset purchases. Non-reserve liabilities currently stand about $1.1 trillion higher than just prior to the pandemic, thus requiring that our securities holdings be equally higher. Demand for reserves has risen as well, in part reflecting the growth of the banking system and the overall economy. Regarding the composition of our securities portfolio, relative to the outstanding universe of Treasury securities, our portfolio is currently overweight longer-term securities and underweight shorter-term securities. The longer-run composition will be a topic of committee discussion. Transition to our desired composition will occur gradually and predictably, giving market participants time to adjust and minimizing the risk of market disruption. Consistent with our longstanding guidance, we aim for a portfolio consisting primarily of Treasury securities over the longer run.
When I talk to Silicon Valley investors and to corporate America, they think that the AI implementation is just really going to start biting in terms of productivity first, second quarter of next year.
What the administration has done here. I do think that the approach taken so far is new and unconventional in three aspects. First, the United States is going it alone. Usually and historically, the United States has wanted to share the burden, share the taking of risk, share the responsibility with other countries. In general, the Trump administration, take the defense area, has been the strongest advocate for other countries bearing a share of burdens. Yet in this case, the United States is going it completely alone, providing all the funds itself, not seeking to involve the IMF, not seeking to ask other countries. Maybe that will turn out to have been a good decision because it will have been a profitable investment or because we will reap some substantial political benefit, but it's a very unusual step.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go, but clearly we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, well, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting at more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Basak. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and you know, when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Crypto Teacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Drama Team save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Drama Team save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Drama Team goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.